Good morning, my good friends. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to my channel. Welcome. Let me introduce myself. My name is Andre Lefevre, and I am a citizen journalist. I like to mouth off on things political, things cultural, things interesting. Extreme libertarian I am. Want to talk about a couple of things today. One of them there are three stories that I want to talk about. One of them is Bush family doctor, Bush seniors, Bush W cardiologist is on the lam. He's running after killing somebody. The second one is that an interesting Rasmussen poll I have found from about a month ago, where about a third of Americans think that civil war is inevitable. And our freedom, First Amendment freedom, is under huge attack. Huge attack. Alex Jones put out an interesting 7-minute video, and I want to play it for you because the power elites, the left, is trying to sue him out of existence, and if he goes, the rest of us goes. So let's start with let's see. Let's start with the Bush family doctor murder. Let me bring it up to the screen here. Give me just a second. This is a press conference from, I think it's from yesterday. So let it rip.
One of the tips indicated that, and this was one of our theories that we've said that we believed he was targeted, and indeed he was. One of the tips included the fact that the suspect's mother was a patient of the doctor and died during surgery over 20 years ago. So it appears that this may be a 20-year-old grudge that this man held, and
let me stop this
and
for a
sadly
second.
we have a
We're talking about a suspect who killed a Bush family cardiologist who treated George Herbert Bush, the first, the Bush elder. So the again, to bring you up to date, the murderer, the killer, is still on the run. So this is Houston police press conference. Let's continue.
a person lost their lives. The suspect's name is Joseph, Joseph, James Pappas, Pappas. His date of birth is February 5th, 1953. That's 2/5 of 53. Anyone knowing his whereabouts needs to call 911 right away. As you know from what he's wanted for, murder, he's considered to be armed and dangerous, and people should not try to deal with him directly. Here's a photo of the suspect that we will put up here for you all. You want to put it up there, Mike? But again, he has not been seen probably now for about 36, 48 hours. We are actively looking for him. This suspect is believed to be suicidal based on his own text message that he sent someone, and also based on our investigation, some of the other items and some of the other things that we've uncovered. The house has been cleared. Evidence has been obtained. Evidence has been obtained that ties this man to this crime, and we believe that this absolutely is the killer of Dr. Hoskinat.
Okay, so let's So let's recap this. Somebody close to the Bush family gets killed. It's blamed on somebody named Pappas. I assume single shooter, white male. He's on the run. They haven't found him yet. And the official story is that it's nothing to do with Bush family. Maybe it's true, but since there's so many lies surrounded similar things, think about Clinton body count. Roger Stone wrote a great book about called Bush crime family. Those are power elites in our country, and they are dirty. So every time somebody within their circle dies, forgive me for thinking that the official story may not be the truth. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever know the truth. I don't know if I'll ever understand it. If any one of you, ladies and gents, have more information about it other than what corporate-controlled news is pushing, I would let me know. Let me know. All right, the next story I'd like to talk about it is let me bring this up so I can see it too. This is from Haaretz.com. Is the second civil war likely? 31% of Americans think so. And let me read it off my screen. And this one is from June 27, 2018. So it's somewhat dated, but it's still interesting. A Rasmussen poll finds that nearly a third of Americans believe a second civil war is likely in the next 5 years. 11% believe it's very likely. Let's see, 31% of American likely voters believe another civil war is likely in the next 5 years, while 11% believe it is very likely, according to a Rasmussen poll. Over half of respondents said they are concerned that political violence is likely from opponents of President Donald Trump's policies. The poll was conducted by Rasmussen Reports, a right-wing leaning public polling group. The poll was conducted over the telephone and online on 1,000 likely voters with a 3% margin of error. The survey was conducted between June 21st and June 24, 2018. Let me give you my thoughts on the Second American Civil War, and this is what I'd like to say about it. Unfortunately, I think the threat is real, and the threat doesn't come from us, from conservatives and slash libertarians. It comes from the left. For a couple of generations now, our power elites, the people, about 10 families or so, to control the world banking, took control over our republic. The Bush family was in charge of it. Clinton and Bush are inseparable as far as their political and financial interests are. Then Obama was riding roughshod over civil liberties for 8 years. And finally, we rebelled. And I want to tip my hat to all of us because we were able to get our republic functioning, and we rejected evil grandma, who would have been just continuation of the same Obama, Bush, Clinton strategies, and we elected Donald Trump to reverse, to bring the freedoms back. I am very surprised that in 2016 the elites absolutely couldn't fix the elections. Now they are out of their mind because if we defeat them, they're going to lose everything. And they're not used to do heavy lifting. Remember, our elites are children of wealthy parents, trust fund kids. They're used to being distributed their wealth, given their wealth, not earning it. So here's the situation as it stands right now. They cannot stand the fact that we elected a president who represents us, the middle class, who actually moves American middle class, who actually moves our country. We are the ones that own our country, not our power elites. So they have a strategy called the Color Revolution. It's basically aping what happened in France in the late 18th century and in Russia in the early 20th century and other communist socialist revolutions. Um, but they're going to do it AstroTurf style. On their payroll, there are numerous groups that profess white supremacist ideas. Keep in mind that homegrown, the organic white supremacists, maybe there are 100 deranged individuals, well, maybe 1,000 deranged individuals in the United States, incapable of organizing themselves. If you see an organized white supremacist group, virtually 100% certainty that it is Soros organized or it's a federal government decoy. But anyways, those groups are going to be choreographed to clash with Antifa and Black Lives Matter. I'm giving you a scenario how I think the revolution may happen in the United States. In the large Democrat-controlled cities, and it's going to be orchestrated. At the same time, the powers, the Soros banking-controlled elites will arrest or assassinate Donald Trump on a pretext that he is some sort of a, basically on a lie that he is some sort of a human rights violator, criminal. And they will shut the internet down. They will start arresting people, anybody, people like yourself, people like myself, anybody who mouths off against the power elites, against the Marxist, fascist ideals of the hard left today. And they will try to turn us into the modern day serfs. I don't think it's if they ever try doing that. I don't think they're going to succeed because our military is not going to let them. They're probably going to divide, and some military units will support Trump and freedom-loving people. The other ones are going to be loyal to the power elites, and we're going to have a hot, destructive, brutal war, and nobody's going to win. At the end, we will go into win, but because tyrants and tyrannical governments eventually fall under their own weight because they cannot function. But it's going to be a huge disaster. So this is how I see a civil war if it ever happens. I don't give it a very high probability of happening, but I still give it I still give it a possibility, especially if in the midterm elections we're going to cream the liberals, the hard left, and then the power elites. But it is curious that the third of the registered voters see this as a real threat, which tells me that we're organized. We're organized. I'll give a few words about how I think we can prevent the civil war and prevail over the power elites without shedding any blood and maintaining everything within the course of biblical morality and legalities. So let's move to the next story because it is related. And let me see this. Here we go. And let me do this. Now, let me set this up. Alex Jones, in case if you don't know who Alex Jones is, I would suggest find out, Infowars.com. People call him conspiracy theorist. People think that he's crazy. People don't like his style. But he is probably the premier journalist, the news provider, the political and philosophical, he calls himself tip of the spear in the fight against tyranny and against the collectivism and against the globalists. And you know what, I have to agree with him. The left is trying to sue him out of existence, and fair use. He put out a video on YouTube, about 7 minutes. I'd like to play it for you because he can explain in this compilation a lot better than I can ever what the left is trying to do to him. And keep in mind, if they succeed in shutting him down, the rest of us, small fish like myself and medium-sized fish and everybody else, like Tucker Carlson or Sean Hannity, Rush Limbaugh, they're next. So listen in.
Resumed today in lawsuits against radio host and conspiracy theorist Alex Jones.
I don't know exactly what happened. Sandy Hook's inconclusive.
For years, Alex Jones was the most powerful voice behind a disturbing conspiracy theory that the Sandy Hook shooting was a massive hoax.
Several families from the 2012 Sandy Hook massacre are suing Jones for defamation. He has claimed the school shooting was a hoax.
Alex Jones is making news, and the parents of the victims of the Sandy Hook shooting in Connecticut are quite disturbed by some of the messages he's sending out.
Jones has used his media platform to call the mass shooting at an elementary school that killed 26 people a hoax.
People who believe Jones have for years harassed and taunted families of the victims. The lawsuits filed in April seek at least $1 million in damages.
Jones's comments have caused them a severe degree of mental stress and anguish, which have disrupted their daily routine and caused a high degree of psychological pain.
Parents have said Jones has engaged in a campaign of false, cruel, and dangerous assertions.
A theory that Leonard Posner and Veronique De La Rosa say turned their lives upside down. Their 6-year-old son, Noah, was killed during the mass shooting in 2012. Ever since, they say they've been harassed. The abuse so bad they've had to move 7 times.
The parents of 6-year-old Noah Posner, who was killed in the Sandy Hook massacre, say Jones's followers have tormented them with death threats, forcing them to move 7 times.
If there's a choice that's made over a relentless period of years to peddle falsehoods and to profit from them, then there has to be a day of reckoning.
I can't imagine being a Sandy Hook parent and having to go through this.
Alex Jones, his commentary about Sandy Hook is disgusting. It's appalling. We all stand against it. 9/11 on the left and the right, we stand against this kind of hate speech, which is what it is.
It's really hard for me to understand how anyone can be so sick in the head.
They're alleging these lawsuits a conspiracy.
Our reporter in the courtroom said that Jones' attorney told the judge today his client's comments are political speech and commentary and not defamatory.
I take a lot of flack for coming on your show and representing you. There are a lot of people angry at me, heck, good friends, family. That
like you said, CNN's not calling anymore.
And I say, well, tell me if you hate this guy so much, show me what the problem is. And they'll send me a link to the New York Times, or they'll send me a link to some other article saying, paraphrasing what you said. And I said, yeah, but now bring me to the original source. And when I go find it, and I said, well, that's not really what was said here. Well, then, then there's like this backpedal. It's like, well, he's enabling such speech, or he's encouraging it. I say, wait a sec. What I want you to think about is how we need a robust marketplace of ideas.
There was another lawsuit this week targeting people that promote conspiracy theories. It involves InfoWars and the host of InfoWars, Alex Jones. Already, InfoWars is at risk of losing its YouTube channel. And now this lawsuit is trying to take Jones and InfoWars and others to court, saying they're responsible for promoting hoaxes that actually are defamatory toward the people involved.
CNN has been basically a martyr for free speech for the last 24 hours. At the same time, they're telling us how important it is that people should be able to say what they think. They are agitating for Alex Jones to be pulled off YouTube. Now, I know we're supposed to think that Alex Jones is way more radical than like Bill Maher, Michelle Wolf, or Rosie O'Donnell. But he's got a point of view, and CNN is trying to squelch his point of view.
Alex Jones promotes conspiracy theories and foments hatred of media. He's been called a freak show and downright dangerous.
People have free speech in this country, no matter how hateful, no matter how stupid, no matter how inane. Give them their time, give them Thorazine also.
What is the matter with this person?
I don't like giving people like Alex Jones a platform.
The hypocrisy is just astounding. And I guarantee you that if you flipped over to CNN right now, there would not be a single story about the Twitter shadow banning. There would not be a single story. And the only story you would see about YouTube pulling Alex Jones videos would be probably something celebratory about a scalp of sorts for managing to eventually get their way on that story.
Jones's lawyers will be back in court for a separate defamation case related to the Parkland shooting tomorrow.
This was probably the first time that anybody in that courtroom had actually watched InfoWars had actually seen what you said. And if you watch what you said and you compare that to what the press has reported that you said, it's as if those two things are happening on two different planets.
There are obviously strong protections for media organizations, even ones that are revolting, like InfoWars. So how do you expect to win?
I think the case for defamation is strong.
Now, although Jones now admits that the Sandy Hook shooting was real, he stands by his skeptical message, the one he's been spreading to his more than 5 million listeners.
Jones says he now believes Sandy Hook did happen, but argues his comments are protected by the First Amendment. Today, Spotify pulled multiple episodes of his podcast for violating its hate content policies.
The court battle coincides with Spotify's decision to remove several episodes of Jones's podcast for violating the music streaming service's hate speech policy.
So you're using the court process to challenge conspiracy theories. It's really interesting.
I watched that video sitting there in that courtroom end to end, and at no point did you in that video say anything like what they've said you said.
I mean, these are the videos they're suing me for.
That's true.
I'm sorry for your kids. I believe they died. That turns into I'm sending troops to their houses.
These families say they've had to deal with years of abuse and harassment from those claiming Sandy Hook was a hoax. They're blaming Alex Jones and his InfoWars show, and they say he's the big reason why.
Look, when you look at the actual video, you look at the primary source. I mean, when somebody has something to say to me about a broadcast or a publication, I don't want to look at a news article that tells me what that says. Why don't you provide me a link? I mean, a third-rate blogger would do that, would provide a link to the actual primary source and say, this is what the guy said, click here to see for yourself. That's why I look at your cases and I say, where the hell's the cavalry? Where is the New York Times? Where is CNN? Even if they want to report negatively on you, how do they not see that if this case goes forward, that is a landmine that they're going to step on?
Because they're bringing authoritarianism in. Google's officially moving to China. Apple already is. Google execs have leaked info saying, no, they're building censorship engines here. It's already here, Mark. We're going to go into a post-freedom world. The New York Times calls me the post-truth world. No, you're the post-truth world that lied about WMDs. The truth tried to come back. Now you're trying to silence everything. They're going for broke, Mark. They believe it's going to be selectively enforced.
Okay, so that was that. And I agree with Alex Jones. If they shut him up, they'll shut the rest of us up as well. This is just, the First Amendment, and let's forget the First Amendment. First Amendment is just a reflection of the natural law, right for us to talk freely. And that's what collectivists, our power elites, the hard left wants to do. Prevent us from talking freely. They're afraid of words because they lie. Because their true intention is to exterminate us as intelligent beings. They only need servants. They only need slaves. It's hard to believe, but that's their intention. I have been in email correspondence. We exchanged emails with somebody named Keegan, who took an issue with me. I did a video on the Texas shooting, Santa Fe High School shooting in Texas a couple of months ago, and I questioned the official. Story. And Keegan claims that he's either a student or lives in a community and knows some of the people that died during that shooting. I'd very much like for him to come with me on a live stream on my channel. And Keegan, I really want to talk to you. I really want to hear what you have to say, even if I disagree. Even if I disagree with what you have to say. If you are who you say you are, even if you aren't who you say you are, I still want to talk to you. Under my videos where I questioned that story, I had quite a few comments from people who I think are bots. And the most common strategy that I have seen, somebody who claims to live in the community, quote unquote, and that I should stop aggravating the situation. And it's very easy to distinguish bots from real people. Real people talk about facts. Bots talk about feelings. Bots don't talk about facts. They just want to shut me up. And I'm a very small channel. I'm a citizen journalist. I don't get paid for this. I do it in my spare time because I like it and because it's important. Visit my website, wildnews.us, wildnews.us. Please subscribe, thumb me up or thumb me down. I appreciate any all comments. And thank you again for joining me. God bless you guys. God bless you.